Let's see here. Yes. All right. Get my rod set up. How's it going, everybody? Here. So, about to set up some stuff here. How's it going there, Corey? All right. So today, I'm going to be rocking a jaw jacker and jigging with my other hand, which is what I often do. And get this, I had some worms in my fridge, so I'm going to be trying out some worms tonight. I know they say they don't work very well in the winter because they're sort of not active. But I do also have shiners, which I will also be rocking. So unfortunately, I got to figure out that the water is coming up out of the hole, and that's going to make it pretty tricky to pop this tent when it comes down to it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start fishing now, if that's all right with you guys. I'm sure that's what you're all waiting for, not me just blabbing about water coming out. All right, so on my jaw jacker rod, I'm actually going to use this spoon here, and I'm going to put a shiner on there. Sometimes I like to put a spoon on there to give it a little bit of, flash, I guess. I'll start with this spoon. It glows, I think, but I kind of like one that's a little flashier, to be honest with you. But for the sake of getting started, and on my other rod, looks like pink's the lucky color for me today because that's what I had on here from yesterday, or from the other day. I got myself, this is a buckshot rattle spoon, a really small one. Like, maybe I'm holding it real close and it seems big, but it's pretty small. It's pink. I kind of like these ones. Just stick a minnow on there and get it in the hole. All right, so I'm gonna put a worm on that one though. So we're gonna put a minnow on the jaw jacker and a worm on the jigging rod. So let me wrangle up some baits here. Yeah, look at these worms. Still juicy. Anybody use worms in the wintertime? I figured they're still gonna have that flavor, And that's what's gonna get the fish reminiscing about summer. And then hopefully it's gonna put them on the line. Just opening my bag of minnows here. I'm gonna turn around. Pickford dings. I'm going to turn around the camera in a second there once I start fishing. You won't just be watching my face while I'm fishing here. It's good to be fishing again here, let me tell you. I have not had a great chance for the last couple of weeks to really put some time in, But today's the day. All right. Got a shiner here. I'm sure I don't need to show you guys what that looks like. There's his tail. Ooh. So I'm not sure how you guys like to put your shiners on. I kind of like to put one just under the dorsal there. when he's on the spoon, so when he moves around, he flashes the spoon around. Man, isn't fishing the best? I'm pretty hyped to put in some time here. You know, I have some Swedish pimples somewhere, but I haven't used one in a long time. My brother likes this one spoon that's called Little Fin. I think they might be discontinued now, to be honest with you. So he always likes using that one. It's pretty much the same kind of idea. Oops. Tangled up line, eh? So I've heard from my neighbors that the fish have been biting. So, you know, I keep on seeing about the dinner bells, and then I keep forgetting to order myself some. I wish, oh, sorry, I thought I had a bite there. I wish there were some local stores that carried them. It seems like they're always selling out online. You know, I think the scoop with this red line is it's some kind of fancy ice line. I think that's the scoop. I usually don't go for the super bright colored line. Sorry, I'm going to turn the camera around just for a second so you guys can see me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so there's water on the floor here, so you guys can see. I had to sort of build up the slush to keep the overflow from getting all over the place. Okay. Yeah. Anybody ever have a jaw jacker slap them in the face? I haven't yet, but I figure I'm due. You like the Dace minnows, eh? Yeah, you know, I do find that these shiners tend to be kind of a weak minnow. Yeah, I'll upgrade to the Panoptics there when they send me one for free. Okay. Yeah, so I was putting a worm on the other one. Okay. There we go. Let's get those worms thinking about a nice warm summer day with this nice worm drifting by the nose. Yeah, I have my door open here to let some light in. That's why it looks so freezy. I tell you, after the temperatures that have been going down the last few days, though, today, even though it's negative 12, it kind of feels nice. That was pretty brutal earlier in the week. Tuesday, I guess I did my ice report there. Man, whew, that was cold. You know, talking about dace there and the yellow stripes and whatnot, I have a lure, some sort of Rapella clone that is definitely like that color with the yellow and red on the side. I used to trap minnows down in my dad's. He lives down in the Dundalk area. He had this ditch in his backyard, and one day I decided to put a minnow trap in there. Catch all sorts of stuff. It's like suckers. We're talking suckers. We're talking little catfish. Central mud minnows. I heard those guys are pretty tough. Minnows to use as bait. I believe they are on the legal minnow category. So yeah, I'm gonna turn this camera around for a moment. I will switch to just using other lights at some point. I'm trying to remember what I had to have that fish finder set for to keep it so you guys could see it. So far no action. The other day I was out here for about an hour and I had a noisy rattle, like lipless crankbait, and it was bringing some sort of fish in, but he just looked at it and left. And he came in, might have been the same fish, might have been different fish, but they would come, look at my lure, follow it a bit, and then take off. So that's always a bit of a bummer. On opening day, I did catch a walleye. Just a small guy. So I guess I got to keep my eyes open for ones I can actually keep here. I'm pretty stoked about that. What was your biggest walleye there, Ken? Just gonna scroll through some of these comments here. Sorry, I'm just looking at comments. If I stop talking here, it's just because I'm trying to make sure I see some. You know what? I actually did drill. Sorry, this is responding to Andrew McDonald there. I actually did drill a couple of holes halfway to catch the water, but I think it's one of those days where it's got a real upward pressure because those holes fill up with water real fast, and now they're just filled with water. I was like, I've seen people make, live wells essentially inside their hut by drilling a bunch of holes. Steve, was the cook with ice video you sent me last year, was that the one with the dude that was cooking fish? Because I'll be showcasing a bunch of these videos in the coming weeks. That was definitely one of my faves. I'm fishing, anybody's curious, I'm fishing in 17.7 feet of water. Swedish pimples don't have rattles in them, right? Yeah, you know, I'm definitely enjoying being out here. Now, if the fish would just show up. I remember last year, the last few live streams there wasn't a lot of action towards the end. So I'm hoping that we can change that. So I'm going to try to keep things dynamic by switching back and forth between you guys looking at my face and fishing occasionally, you know, or if I have any important messages. I like keeping my door open so I can survey what's going on outside. It gets kind of bleak in here when it's completely sealed up. It gets very dark. Like, I definitely like watching my neighbors zip around in their snowmobiles. That's what I'm doing right now. Has anybody seen the M&R this year? They've been around. I get a lot of those. Get a lot of the biologists coming around to measure like an actual conservation officer, I guess you'd say. The biologists are definitely from the MNR. They're always looking to measure my fish. Huh. Just reading species 8472. I don't think I've seen the kind of thing you're describing there. You say it's fast attach minnow, or attach the minnow using the shank of the treble. Same manner as a stringer, eh? Huh. On the radar. They're just resting up though, you know. They're resting up for the 4:30 bite. Soon they'll be getting hungry. Matthew, that's a pretty impressive size walleye you're talking about there. 35 inches, 10 pounds. I was saying to my wife earlier, it'd be sweet if you guys could post pictures up in the comments of this as we're talking, so people could see, you know, different pictures of this or that. But YouTube hasn't gotten that far yet. I don't have anybody set up really close to me here, David. I do have, my nearest neighbor is probably about 500 yards away from me, just not in the same place. Yeah, Jeff there, I definitely do like to have one dead stick and one active jigging line. And the reason for that is I do find that some days that dead stick will outperform the moving line. And sometimes it's the other way around. But I like to think that my jigging rod is attracting fish, and if they're kind of in a neutral mood or non-biting mood, then maybe they'll look at the dead stick and be like, well, I guess I have enough energy to eat that minnow that's staying in one spot, you know? Yeah, the size has changed this year. I think it's just about time I turn on my heater and maybe close the door. We'll see how much light we can get. I've got a couple of lanterns ready to go. Give me a sec. Yeah, it's starting to chill down. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to do some adjusting around here. I almost melted a lantern the other day, electric lantern there, by having it really close to my heater. There we go. Oh. It's getting the old buddy heater going here by Mr. Heater. I like this one. I had one of the little buddy ones. Didn't like it. Okay. Alright. So, it seems like the fish aren't here yet. Wait a minute. Yeah, so I'm gonna just adjust how bright my screen is there. I have a feeling it was, when we did that before, it made this thing a little easier for you to see. I was gonna turn that camera around. A second here. Okay, that should be a little clearer for you guys, I think. Yeah, so I'm tempted to get out some noisier lures, or at least for the, like, I see something way down at the bottom. What a mud puppy on the radar there. Probably just like a lump, eh? I've seen them on the camera. They're not particularly speedy creatures. Whoop. All right, just gonna. Sorry, I probably skipped a few messages here. Yeah, you know, I always find that the fish seem to like stormy weather. But right now we got relatively storm-free weather, so maybe it's gonna be quiet, but tomorrow it's gonna drop to negative 23 or something during the day. So that should be fun. There we go. It's definitely pretty chilly in here. Not like chilly, but obviously enough to make my face go all steamy here. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire on a much noisier lure. Try to get some attention this way. So probably a rattlebait. Oh, my line's freezing up here. My worm's looking pretty smoked. He sort of looks alive. I'm gonna keep using this worm though. See what happens. All right. So let's see what we got. Yeah, there we go. My tackle box was once my most organized thing in my life. Then I sort of downsized. Looks like we got a fish showing up on the screen here. I downsized because I didn't want to carry on a massive thing anymore. And now my Tackle box just really jammed up. Sorry if I'm talking slow here. I'm just trying to throw that worm on my rattle bait, so I got a little there. Looks like we got a customer waiting. So let's see if he likes a worm. I know these rattle baits, I'll sometimes go real big, sometimes really small, but you'd be surprised what hits. Should turn on my heater earlier, my line's all freezing up. Yeah, you'd be surprised what hits a pretty big rattle bait. Perch seem to love them. This one sort of makes a hiss. I got one that you can hear from about 20 yards away. Like a just going through some comments here. Dave, to answer your question, how much snow is on the lake? There wasn't much for a long time. Now there's definitely, I'd say 8 to 10 inches. It's drifting, right? So you've got a variance. Maybe I'll go with 6 to 10 inches. It's not crazy, but I can tell you that I sure do appreciate the fact that my neighbor, Grandpa Terry here, drives his snowmobile right past my hut, so I've got something to walk on my way out here. I've had this particular pop-up out here for a couple of days now. I don't usually use this one unless I have guests, but now that my boy is more interested in ice fishing, I'm got this one out. We got a looker. Is he gonna take it? I'm planning on being on until 5:30 or so. So if the stream cuts out, just stick to it. So I got a fish looking at it. He's following it. The idea of this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this stream cutting in and out, but I'm still fishing. Like I said, I'll be fishing at 5:30. So if you can stand the signal cutting out every once in a while, we can keep chatting. Dave, if you want to send me, this is an answer to Dave Herod. If you want to send me a picture of a fish, forrealfishing@gmail.com. You can send one there. Unfortunately, you can't post them here. It'd be sweet if you did. It'd be sweet if you could. What's going on, Gates Outdoors? Yeah, I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if the fish bit while the signal was out? The last time I was out, had the Sabio vibrato there that seemed to catch him. Ice thickness right now is about, in this very spot, about 13 inches. It's pretty close to the spot I measured the other day, which was 14 and a half. There's definitely some variety of ice thicknesses out here, but it seems like we've got enough to be operating on now. Jake D, I like the Striker a lot. Striker 4. It's definitely in my budget range. I like that a lot. And you gotta love when you can get a product that's high quality at a very reasonable price. Red and gold Clio, eh? Surprised this fish that's down there isn't going over to my minnow if he wants a cheap lunch, you know. Yeah, the size. The size is, yeah, I think species 8472's got it right there. 40 to 45, but definitely before you come up, make sure you check the regs just in case. Oh. Come on, fish. Sitting right on the bottom. Definitely fish out. Jeff Burnett, I'm probably going to be throwing on one of those vibratos in a moment. Hey, Bernie, thanks for contributing all those pictures on your end of the lake there. I saw from Facebook that you got a new hut ready to go. All right, I'm going to try to catch one fish for your grandson Steve, Leo, and Zach. And I'm going to catch one fish for my own son because he seems to want to have a fish fry. Jacob, I usually fish my lure pretty close to the bottom, probably within 6 inches of the bottom. And sometimes with my dead sticks, I'll float those maybe even a foot off the bottom. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm marking, there's a fish down there. I usually try to dangle it in front of his face, and then if he doesn't do anything, I sort of try to move it up. Chrome Fisher BC, no problem, buddy. I hope people enjoy live stream fishing. even though so far I've had a bunch of cutouts and no fish biting. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with the stream. Sometimes, I used to think it was the wind, or pardon me, not the wind. The like if it was stormy, they would break up the streams somehow. But it seems like today is not particularly stormy. Outdoor Dave, welcome to the party. The bite is non-existent so far. Every once in a while I catch the burbot out here. One or two. I can go years though without. And then one day I just catch a nice juicy one. Alright, so I'm going to switch up lures here. I'm going to switch up the lures. I'm going to put away this rattler, although that seemed to get some attention. We'll keep that on hand in case we need it. I'm going to fire on a glow. I think I caught a pike on this one right here. It looks big in my hands, but it's one of the smallest ones. And anyway, he broke all my hooks off, so I got to remember to fix that. Okay. So I noticed that Berkeley seems to have bought out this style of lure from Sebile, the vibrato. I've seen it labeled as Berkeley now. What was kind of good is that they had the Sebile ones on sale at Crappy Tire there, so I grabbed a bunch. Can never have too many, you know. Oh yeah, I see a fish down there. This is gonna be the lure. Just waiting for the signal to stabilize before I talk anymore. Cut me off a couple times. No action on the jaw jacker. Seen some fish on the radar here. Oh yeah, so for those who are curious about the drone setup, it too. But then I was doing a lot of research, and then I found out that Autel Robotics was putting out another drone that was very similar to the DJI Mini 2, but it had extra features like a larger sensor and sorry, there's a fish on my screen here. Come on, do it. Do it. Autel Robotics makes one called the Evo Nano Plus. And yeah, it's got a larger camera sensor in addition to... I'll be getting the drone sometime in February. Sorry. Sorry, this signal cutting out. I'm always wondering how much in between. Yeah, I wonder if I stop this one and start it, if that'll work, or if it's just gonna keep on. Yeah, so I should, in theory, have the drone sometime in early next month. Yeah, maybe the fish are just working up their appetites right now. Yeah. Come on, fish. I got a big mark. Big mark. So I had a pretty big mark come in there, just didn't want it. Yeah, I thought about wearing that. I guess the question is, should I try to reset this stream? Or just keep cross my fingers? Neil Wilcox, welcome to the party. How are you, buddy? It's been years. It's been a long time since I lived in Shelburne, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm glad that my reputation is stretching all the way down south to home sweet home. The light, like, I don't know how grainy it looks to you guys. I mean, it's a live stream, so you know. But to me, it's definitely getting dimmer in here, but it seems like through the camera, it's not too bad. All right, I'm going to throw down the noisiest lure I own in the most improbable color. Just kidding. I've caught plenty of fish on this rattler that looks like a bass, largemouth. It's the loudest lure I own. If it gets really dim in here, lanterns would all be firing up. Can you hear that? In the long run, turn on a lantern. I like those Cisco's. I don't catch that many here. Thanks for coming out there, Joel. I keep dropping my gloves into the water. The fun part. Fun part about fishing with water in your tent. What? So my fish finder must be on some sort of automatic adjustment for light. Is it just super brightened up there? Oops. Let's see if I can turn it down. Okay. Let me see if I can put this lantern in an opportune spot. Yeah, this damn streams coming in and out. Let's see what we got here. Got 2 lanterns. There we go. No walleye yet. No nothing, to be honest with you. Right on, Neil. Thanks for watching, Bo. I'm glad that we've been able to reconnect here. You know, maybe send me a message sometime, and we can update each other on how the rest of life is. The perch have not shown up to this party yet. There's a fish down there, and he's definitely agitated by my lure. It's right on the bottom. Not 100% sure where the best place to put this lantern is. Oh yeah. I think somebody sprayed something on my lures that's making the fish look at them and then be like, nope, no thank you. Probably my son, to be honest with you. He'd be like, let me spray Dad's lures with vinegar. But he's not looking. Wouldn't surprise me. Ben. Yeah, I am as well, from Shelburne, or the Shelburne area. I used to live in between high school